Back in 2013, I was struggling to light this bottle for some course material. I wanted to light the bottle separately from the background behind it, but I just couldn't find a way to do it effectively. So I explored the available options at the time, and there was two ways to do this. The first way was to set up two separate scenes of the exact setup and light them differently, then render both of them, put them in Photoshop and mask it. The other way was a complex compositing setup that you could use using the view layers inside of Blender. But really these were clunky ways to go about it because you couldn't change things without knowing what it would look like until after you rendered both setups. Since then, Blender has released an incredible feature that does this all within the same scene. And I think it's a really powerful technique to add to your lighting toolkit. So today I'm going to show you two ways to use this in your scenes. And I'm also going to talk about some things to avoid as a beginner. Alright, so example number one is this bottle setup. And then we'll jump into the more complex one a little bit later. So we're just going to focus on light linking for this. So currently, this is my rendered image. That's what I want. That's the result I want. And what I had here was a render here that had reasonably good lighting, but I wanted it to fill in the opposite side of the bottle. So you can see here that these areas are quite dark and it just overall doesn't feel balanced. The contrast is too high. So what I want to do is create a light, obviously, to fill that area in. You can do this two ways. You can actually create just a plane and you could rotate this on the Y and take that across. And as you see, when I, let's go take you over here. You can see a little bit of fill happens, but it's not enough. So I have to use a light for this. And it also gives me an opportunity to give the opposite side a nice highlight. We both know that the biggest struggle in 3D is getting your renders to look photorealistic. But what if I told you that there is 3 elements that you can follow to instantly level up your renders and to improve your renders a lot faster than you're currently progressing? If you're interested in learning these 3 elements, then I have a completely free workshop which you can watch. It's 45 minutes. It's going to teach you a ton of value about 3D product rendering and how to get photorealistic renders inside of Blender. All you got to do is put your email in the top link in the description and sign up today. See you over there. Let's get back into the tutorial. So let's go Shift A. We'll add a light. We'll add an area light. Now we're going to use Light Wrangler. It's an add-on. You can get it in the link below. Super powerful add-on for lighting products. So sort of a must-have if you don't want to set all this up manually. You can set it up manually in your object, your nodes. So you hit use nodes, you can plug in images and things. But basically what it does is uses tricks that photographers use. So this is called a scrim. A scrim is usually just a big sheet or something that is put in front of the light, and you can point the light at it and it diffuses the light. So what we do, I can rotate this by 90 and we'll put in negative to move it that way. We'll go GX up here and we'll take it across to here. All right, you can see now we've got a highlight. And what that scrim is going to do just by default, if I hit default, you can see this light is super even. Obviously it's got the bottle texture, but it's super even. And so the scrim, when we click scrim, you look between the two, the scrim adds this little gradient sort of fall off, and it's just a little bit nicer than what we originally had. But where the power is in the scrim is this, these tools here. This is Light Wrangler. So we can adjust the tilt. So what I want to do here is I'm going to adjust the vertical tilt, I think. Let's have it go. We'll put in something like 65. And we'll go have a look at our light. The reason I'm adjusting the vertical tilt here is because I rotated this sideways. So let's go -65 so that the gradient falls off in this direction. So the light is harsher on the inside of the bottle than on the outside. And now if I look at this and bring this forward, you can start to see the effect that this has on our bottle. Now we could scale this up nice and wide. We'll bring it forward more. And you can start to see that we've got this gradient fall off on our bottles. Now, when I move this closer, you can see that it starts to appear up the top here. And I've got it up here and here, but not in this center. And basically, the reason for this is if I look at front view, this is the direction my camera is facing. If I look at this edge and take the face of this where the reflection should be, and then I take sort of the parallel of this, you can see that by looking at it, there's no sort of area of light reflecting into the bottle. So when we have metallic or shiny surfaces, it has to reflect light. So all you do is just move this up into that area. So you see that light now is in that area of this reflecting where that bounces off. And you can see now you've got this nice edge down here. Now, the issue I had here is I wanted to keep the mood of this scene. So this is where light linking comes in. Now, the first mistake a lot of people make with light linking is they do tons of lights. So I want you to try to keep light linking simple, where you only use 1 or 2 lights in scenes with light linking. You try to keep the lights as balanced as possible with the same temperatures, with the same strength and intensity, the same quality of light, which quality of light is just basically how harsh and direct the light is, which is controlled by this area here, the spread of the light. Quality also is tint and power and those sorts of things. So I want you to keep it really subtle. In this case, we're just going to focus our light here on the bottles and not the backdrop. The way I can do this is first I'm going to drag this down so it's a bit more organized. Call this one our fill_light. So that's what it is. Correct spelling would help. And then we jump down to object properties here. We add a new group here and we can just call this one bottle. Now with this bottle group, I can go up here. I can grab the wine bottle. In this case, what I've done here is I've used geometry nodes to duplicate this bottle. So all I need to do is grab the duplicator and put it down in the scene. And you can see straight away that it has excluded the backdrop from our light linking. So if I deselect this, you can see that I can actually tell the light not to touch the bottle, or I can tell it to touch the bottles. And so that brings back a bit of mood in our scene here. And the reason why you wouldn't want to go overboard is because it starts to look unrealistic. Whereas right now, it looks all right still because it's just a reflection. Let's jump into scene number 2. So this is scene number 2. Now the issue I have with this scene right now is I want to create that nice highlight on the bottle once again. So there's 2 things that I did here. First one was introduce a studio lighting. So if I rotate here, jump into X-ray, rendered view, you can't see any environment lighting. So what I did is just put in an environment. I'll show you which one I put in. So I put in this photo studio. It's going through a hue saturation value that's reducing the saturation, because if this is 1, which is the original image, it's got color in it, see? And so that actually sends a tint across our scene. So most of the time I just want to use this without any color. So then this actually, what it does is if I mute this, you can see that by turning this on and off, the bottle gets some small highlights. I think I had it at a degree of 45, which should give it negative 45. There we go, negative 45. And if I mute this on and off, you can see the small highlights that show up in our scene here, around here. I also have here, if we go to slot number 2, I'm going to render it with the highlights now, with the world lighting, sorry. All right, so let's have a look. If we look at scene slot 1, this is without any world lighting. So you can see these areas, based off this very direct light up here, isn't creating any light outside of our area. We add a background of 0.4, just tiny amount of light to the scene. And you can instantly see that these areas get a little bit of a boost in highlights. And then it also adds the highlights that are a little bit more realistic into our bottle here. Now for the light linking example, here I want to do the same thing as the last scene and add in some light. And I'll show you, it's basically the same case. Shift A will add in an area light here. And I want to do the same thing. I want to fill in this side of the bottle. So what I did is rotated this a little bit. I go to front view and I just put this up the side here, like so. And look what's happening. We're filling in our whole scene and we're getting rid of the mood. First of all, what I'm going to do is use Light Wrangler. We'll add a scrim to this. So we'll tilt this by about 45, 65. I don't know how I come up with these numbers, but. And then what I'm going to do is scale this up a little bit. The more you scale, you can get a full highlight all the way along, or you could just stop the highlight here and it could continue there. If you remember, you look at the angle your camera is pointing. So if we go this direction, and then what you're doing is if the bottle face is facing off in a direction where there's no light, that's why we're getting dark areas here. The next thing I want to do is add this to our light linking. So we come down here, we go to Object Data Properties, we jump over to the light linking here, and then we add a new light linking group, and you can call this one bottle in the same case. And then you're just going to grab the whole collection. You can grab just parts if you would like. And so if you didn't want the cup, you could actually grab the cup, put it in and uncheck it. And it's not going to do much just because of our light settings. But you could exclude the cup from it. Maybe you want to add the playing cards as well. So now you can see the playing cards are in with it. And this is where the sort of beginner mistake comes along, where they add objects they shouldn't add and they overdo it a little bit. So you've got to be very careful with light linking. So the ways I use light linking would be reflections in glass, getting rid of them, especially if I need to light the label a specific way because it has metallic. If this tree, for example, had metallic lighting, it'd be pretty much black. Like you can see here, these dark areas, sometimes you light a label and your metallic in the label just renders black because there's nothing reflecting light inside of it. So I might use light linking there and just target the label because I don't want a hot spot on my bottle. You can see here that by adding the cards to this group, I've actually created an unrealistic scenario. So you have to be a little bit careful what you might do. So in this case, we don't want the cards. You got to uncheck them or remove them altogether. So I want the cards to be affected by that light. And I just want to use this just to add a little bit of fill, this light here, a little bit of fill and a little bit of a highlight. And I think that's a tasteful way to do it. All right. That's it for this video. If you want to learn more about lighting, make sure to check out the workshop down below. It's super helpful and it'll be super handy for you to sort of start looking out for the things that are